Hi there, Tim Bauer here from LiveVideoGuitarLessons.com with the practice tip of the day. This one is for the beginning player, and today I want to continue our discussion on covering the basics on how to read sheet music, standard music notation. Over on the website, we have the previous lessons, and we covered the basic reading of notes, and we've covered key signatures, and today we want to cover note duration, how long you're supposed to hold the notes. If you haven't done it already, hop over to the website, www.livevideoguitarlessons.com. Under the Study Aids tab, you'll find I think I called it Reading Sheet Music Reference Sheet. Anyway, you can pull up a PDF file. It kind of gives you the basics of what you need to know to read music. Anyway, so today we're going to work with some note durations. We're going to explain, what beams and flags and different kinds of notes mean. So we're going to take a simple riff, and what we're going to do, I've already had this down on paper, but we're going to work with the rhythm of this riff. Sorry about the buzzing there. This guitar needs a fret job, but I will put that on my agenda of stuff to do. So anyway, so what's going on there? Let me put this down for a second. So what that looks like in sheet music, I'm going to try to get this where you can see it. That's what I just played. And I need to turn the autofocus on. Sorry about that. So I'm going to be kind of in and out of focus a little bit. But I need to make sure that this gets focused on. All right, so what's going on? I just want to kind of point out what's going on with all these notations. All right, so let's just start over here. That is an eighth rest. An eighth rest has that one little flag on there. If it has two little flags on it, that little round thing, then it would be a 16th rest. And if it has three, it would be a 32nd rest. And if it has four, it would be a 64th rest. And you'll see that on that reference sheet. I have the way they look, the durations, how you write them down. All right, so anyway, so this is an eighth rest, and the counterpart of that, this is an eighth note. It has one little flag here on the bottom. So one flag is an eighth note. And I should look over here. Let's start down here for a second. This is a quarter note. Quarter notes have the head filled in and the stem with no flags. A half note looks exactly like this, except the head is not filled in, and a whole note is just a circle, no stem. All right, so then we get to the next size down, that's an eighth note. And then we get over here. I left some of these unbeamed. Mostly the idea of beaming these notes is you get them to where they equal one beat. So just like fractions in school, your quarter note equals one beat. When your metronome's clicking, it's clicking quarter notes. So just like your fractions, 2 eighth notes equal a quarter note, which equal one beat. 4 16th notes equal 1 quarter note, which equals one beat. So if you had 4 16th notes, you'd beam them together, so you can see grouping them together into one beat. So it makes it easy to count, quickly. So that's what the beams are. That's what's going on with the beams here. One beam, one flag means the same thing. These are eighth notes. This is a single beam, so those are eighth notes. Two beams are 16th notes, so those are two beams right there. So those are what this is right here. This is 2 16th notes with the double beams, and it's beamed together with an eighth note. So 2 16ths plus 1 eighth equal a quarter equal one beat. Sorry about all the math. It makes a lot of sense. You just have to think about it just a little bit. So anyway, so that's what's going on here. So now I have an eighth note over here, and that's beamed with 2 16th notes. And then this is 2 eighth notes beamed together. So the reason these aren't beamed, you can't beam rest and notes. So this is half a beat, one beat, one beat, one beat. And that's one beat. And I unbeamed these. The computer automatically beams them for me, but I just wanted you to be able to see what it looks like when it's not beamed. So that's a single eighth note, and that's a single 16th note, and that's another single 16th note. And what's going on, this is the same as, I'm looking for one that's the same. It's the same as this group right here. Eighth note, 2 16th notes. So anyway, I just unbeamed them so you could see it. So there's 2 eighth notes, and then there's 2 16th notes beamed to an eighth note. And that's basically what it is. You'll notice that the note heads are physically spaced apart roughly the way the rhythm, the way you would play it. You don't get that in tab. You just have a bunch of numbers down there, and you have to know the rhythm. This tells you the rhythm. If I gave this to somebody who could read music, and they've never heard this before, because this is just one of my little riffs, they could play it because the rhythm's telling them how to play it. You have two types of spacing involved with music. You have something called engraver spacing, which when you have like really fast notes, like 64th notes, if you have engraver spacing, it doesn't slam them all together like because they're so fast. I mean, the note has to be touching, you know. So engraver spacing is let's call it reasonable spacing. So you know it's not perfect spacing. It's just you can still tell, you know, where the fast notes are. It's just not slamming them together mathematically perfect. And mathematically perfect is the other way to space them. And that's useful if you're trying to like work with two staves at the same time. You're trying to line up everything. Most of the time, the engraver spacing works better. So anyway, just wanted to kind of cover that duration thing there. So thanks for tuning in for this practice tip. Don't be intimidated. My goal with this series on how to read sheet music is just to keep you from getting intimidated by reading music, because it's really simple. You just have to spend a little time getting accustomed to it. That's all. It's, you know, once you've, you know, read, I don't know, 50 or 60 notes, you know, by the time you've read 100, I mean, it's you wonder why you were ever intimidated to start with. But, you know, as you read them, you'll see it makes perfect sense. And they're just, I find so many people are just terribly intimidated by sheet music, and they just never bother to learn it because it looks so foreign. You know, it looks like a lot of gibberish on a page, and it's not. And they end up sticking to tabs all the time. And tabs are useful, but they don't tell you the whole story. And, you know, you want to be an educated musician. You don't want to be, you know, just somebody who barely knows anything about theory, because music theory will help you improve your skills. I mean, the more you know about theory, the better you become at taking what you know and figuring out what you don't know. That makes you a better musician and gives you new ideas. And it's hard to explain that to somebody who's not, you know, somebody's just trying to learn a few songs. But you'll have to take my word for it. You'll be a much better musician if you understand why you're doing stuff and if you understand the basic theory stuff. So anyway, thanks for tuning in for this practice tip. Tune in again tomorrow for another one, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.